Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to a journey that will transport you to a quiet, serene village where time moves slowly and every droplet of rain feels like a whisper from nature itself. Picture this village, nestled between rolling hills and lush green fields, where the scent of earth after rain lingers in the air, and the sky is painted in hues of grey and silver. It's the rainy season, a time when the village is cloaked in a gentle mist, and the sound of raindrops hitting the ground becomes a symphony of calm. Our story begins with Lucas, a young man in his early 30s who lives alone in this peaceful village. He has always loved the rain, a love that dates back to his childhood. For Lucas, the rain isn't just weather. It's an experience, a sensation, a connection to something much deeper. The village where he lives is small but holds a certain charm. A cobblestone street runs through it, with ancient houses lined up on either side. In the center of the village stands the old library, a building that has stood for centuries, its walls weathered by time and yet full of stories waiting to be told. On a quiet afternoon, as the rain began to fall softly, Lucas found himself drawn to the library once again. He had spent countless hours there over the years, poring over books that spoke of far-off lands, adventures, and forgotten histories. But today, something felt different. Today, he was searching for something more, something that had been lost for many years. The library was a place that felt like a second home to Lucas. The creaky wooden door welcomed him with a familiar sound, as though the library itself recognized him. Inside, the air was thick with the musty scent of old paper and leather. Rows upon rows of books stretched high, their spines worn from years of being opened and closed, their pages filled with stories of those who had walked before. But today, Lucas wasn't here to browse. He had a specific purpose. There was one book, a book he had once read as a child, that had been lost for many years. It was a book his grandmother had given him, a book filled with stories of the village's ancient past and the secrets it held. He had read it many times, and each time he did, he felt as though he was discovering something new. But one fateful day, the book had disappeared. No one knew where it had gone, and no matter how much he searched, Lucas could never find it. As he walked deeper into the library, the sound of the rain outside grew louder. The soft patter of droplets against the windows created a peaceful rhythm, and Lucas felt a sense of calm wash over him. He slowly made his way to the farthest corner of the library, a place he hadn't visited in years. It was here that he had last seen the book, tucked away on a dusty shelf, forgotten by time. Lucas ran his fingers over the spines of the books on the shelf, each one telling its own story. But then, his hand paused. There, hidden behind a stack of old volumes, was the book he had been searching for. Its cover was faded, but he immediately recognized the intricate patterns and the delicate gold lettering on its spine. The title was nearly unreadable, but to Lucas, it was like seeing an old friend again after many years. With trembling hands, he pulled the book from the shelf. As he opened it, a wave of nostalgia hit him, and he was transported back to his childhood, back to the days when he would sit by the fire with his grandmother, listening to her tell stories of the village's past. The first page of the book was yellowed with age, the paper brittle beneath Lucas's fingers. But as he began to read, the words seemed to come alive. The book spoke of the village's history, of the people who had once lived here, and of the secrets that were hidden deep within the land. It was a story of love, loss, and the eternal bond between nature and the human spirit. The more Lucas read, the more he felt connected to the village and its ancient roots. The book spoke of a hidden grove deep within the forest, a place where the trees whispered secrets to those who were willing to listen. It spoke of a time long ago when the villagers would gather there to meditate, to connect with the natural world, and to seek guidance from the earth itself. As he read further, Lucas found a passage that particularly caught his attention. It described a ritual that the villagers would perform during the rainy season. The ritual was said to bring peace and clarity to the mind, to heal the spirit, and to strengthen the bond between the people and the land. According to the book, the ritual involved finding a quiet spot by the water, a place where the rain would wash away the troubles of the world, and sitting in silence, allowing the sound of the rain to cleanse the soul. Lucas paused for a moment, the words echoing in his mind. He had always felt a deep connection to the rain, but he had never considered it in this way. He had never thought of the rain as a way to heal or to connect with the earth. But now, as the rain continued to fall outside the library, he felt an overwhelming urge to experience the ritual for himself. Without wasting a moment, Lucas closed the book and stood up. He knew exactly where he needed to go. The lake was not far from the village, nestled in a quiet valley, surrounded by tall trees. It was a place of solitude, a place where the world seemed to disappear, and the only sound was the gentle lapping of water against the shore. As he walked through the village, the rain grew heavier, but Lucas didn't mind. He welcomed the rain, feeling its cool touch on his skin as it mingled with the warmth of his thoughts. By the time he reached the lake, the sky had darkened and the world seemed to be drenched in silver light. The rain was falling in sheets now, the sound of it creating a soothing melody as it hit the water. Lucas found a spot by the shore, under a large tree that provided some shelter from the rain. He sat down, his eyes closed, and let the sound of the rain wash over him. He took a deep breath, allowing the cool air to fill his lungs, and slowly began to clear his mind. For the first time in a long while, Lucas felt at peace. The worries and stresses of life seemed to melt away as he focused on the rhythm of the rain, It was as though the earth itself was speaking to him, offering him comfort and solace in a way that words could not express. As Lucas sat there, his thoughts slowly began to fade away, replaced by a profound stillness. The rain, falling in a continuous stream, felt like an ancient song, playing softly yet steadily in the background. He was no longer aware of the world around him. The village, the library, the people. It was just him and the rain. And in that moment, they were one. The book had spoken of this feeling, the connection between the rain, the earth, and the human soul. Lucas had never fully understood it before, but now, as he sat there with the rain washing over him, it felt as if the land itself was sharing its wisdom. Every drop that hit the earth seemed to carry a message, and Lucas felt that in this very moment, he was receiving it. He leaned back against the tree, closing his eyes, and let the rain cleanse him. His mind began to drift, as if he were floating on a cloud, weightless and free. The world had become a blur. The noise of the rain was all that remained. The rustling of the trees above him seemed to join in, their leaves whispering secrets of times long past. Suddenly, a thought came to him, a thought he had never entertained before, that perhaps the rain was not just a force of nature, perhaps it was something more, something spiritual, a reminder from the earth itself to slow down and reconnect with what really mattered. For the first time in years, Lucas felt truly at peace. He thought about his life, the choices he had made, and how often he had been too distracted to appreciate the simple, beautiful moments around him. The rain, with its quiet strength, had reminded him of the importance of balance, of listening to the world, and of understanding that sometimes it's okay to simply be still. As the minutes passed, the rain began to soften, its intensity easing into a gentle drizzle. Lucas sat still, allowing the calmness to seep into every part of his being. The peace he felt was unlike anything he had ever experienced before, and it made him realize just how much he had been missing. But then, something unexpected happened. As he sat there, lost in the rhythm of the rain, a memory surfaced. A memory from his childhood. It was an old memory, one he had almost forgotten. He saw himself sitting with his grandmother, listening intently as she spoke of the rain. Rain, she had told him, is the earth's way of healing itself. Just as we need rest to heal our bodies, the earth needs rain to refresh and renew itself. And in the process, it heals us too. The rain brings clarity, just like how a clear sky follows a storm. That memory, so vivid and clear, brought a smile to Lucas's face. His grandmother had always known how to make everything feel connected, how to help him see the deeper meaning behind everything. It was in moments like these that her wisdom had stayed with him, buried deep in his heart. But as he sat by the lake, Lucas realized that his grandmother's words weren't just comforting, they were a reminder to honor the natural world. She had understood the importance of balance and the power of silence. Lessons that over time Lucas had let slip away. The rain had nearly stopped now, leaving behind a soft mist that hung in the air. The clouds above were parting, and for the first time that evening, a faint glow from the moon could be seen peeking through. The world was quieter now, the storm having passed, leaving only the serene after effects of a peaceful night. Lucas stood up, feeling lighter than he had in years. His heart was calm, his mind clear, and the burden he had been carrying seemed to have lifted. As he walked back toward the village, the once familiar road now seemed like a new journey, one that was filled with possibilities. When he reached the library, he could see the soft light glowing through the windows, as if the building was welcoming him back. The sense of peace he had found by the lake now seemed to follow him here, as though the rain had left its calming essence behind. He stepped inside, and the familiar musty scent of the books hit him once more. But this time, it felt different. This time it felt like home. As he walked back to the section where he had found the lost book, he placed it carefully back on the shelf, but this time with a new sense of appreciation. The book had guided him to a deeper understanding, not just of the village or the rain, but of himself. It had reminded him that the answers he sought were often already within him, hidden beneath the noise of everyday life. It was only when he stopped, listened, and connected with nature that he was able to hear them. Lucas sat down at the reading table, now fully immersed in the quiet, peaceful atmosphere of the library. He glanced out of the window, where the last traces of rain were still visible, the ground glistening with tiny droplets. The night had settled into a gentle calm, and for the first time in a long while, Lucas felt truly present. He opened the book once more, but this time, he didn't rush through the pages. He took his time, savoring each word, each story. The book's pages spoke of ancient wisdom, but now Lucas understood them in a way he never had before. The words seemed to resonate with him, as if they were speaking directly to his soul. It was as though the rain, the memories, and the book had all come together to show him a truth. That life was not about constantly moving forward, but about taking moments to pause, reflect, and heal. The earth, the rain, and the book had all conspired to give him this gift of clarity. As he read on, Lucas began to realize that the village, the rain, and the library were all part of a greater whole. They weren't separate from him. They were a reflection of him. In the same way, his thoughts, emotions, and experiences were all part of the world around him. And just like the rain, they too needed moments of stillness to be understood. By the time Lucas finished the book, the night had deepened, and the rain had stopped completely. The world outside was calm, and the soft rustling of the trees could be heard in the distance. Lucas closed the book gently and placed it back on the shelf, his heart filled with a sense of deep gratitude. The journey that had begun with the search for a lost book had led him to a greater understanding, not just of the village or the past, but of the present. He had discovered that sometimes the answers we seek are not found in the hustle and bustle of life, but in moments of quiet reflection. As he left the library and walked back home, the night air felt fresh and the world seemed at peace. The rain had washed everything clean, and the village once again felt like the tranquil place it had always been. But now, Lucas saw it in a new light. A place where time slowed down, where the rain healed, and where stories waited to be rediscovered. And so, Lucas returned to his life, not with answers, but with a deeper understanding of the importance of slowing down and listening to the world around him. The rain, as always, would be there, offering its quiet comfort whenever he needed it. As Lucas walked back through the now peaceful village, the moonlight shining softly through the trees, he realized that this quiet, reflective journey had given him more than just answers. It had given him a new perspective on life. And in moments like these, where the world pauses and the rain speaks, we are reminded of the simple beauty of slowing down and reconnecting with the stillness around us. Thank you for joining me on this journey with Lucas. I hope the rain's gentle rhythm brought a sense of peace and calm to your heart, just as it did to his. If you enjoyed this story, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you have a story in mind that you'd like to hear next, tell me all about it. I'd love to create another relaxing tale just for you. Until next time, may your dreams be as peaceful as the rain and as soothing as the quietest moments of the night. Sweet dreams. And remember, there's always a new story waiting for you.
you.